Hey folks, welcome back to Jerome Bee Farm and Homestead. It is about the end of September and it's still pretty hot out there, and we haven't got a lot of rain since the last video where I said I thought we were in a fall flow. So if we were, it's probably stopped now. I'm going to go ahead and leave my supers on a while longer, at least through October, and we'll see how that goes. But today's video, I'm going to shoot it in here. I'm going to show you a few things I've got going on inside here where I do my bottling and extracting. I'm going to unbox this HillCo box here, which I think most of you will enjoy that. I'm going to show you some bottling stuff I got going on. We're going to taste some mead and one other strange thing I have going on in here I'll show you at the end. And with that, let's get started. Let's get this big box open and see what's in here. Okay, you can see the HillCo logo there, and you can probably read what it is, but I won't spoil it. Let's get these straps off of here. And I've had this a while. I used some of my honey revenue to purchase this, so this is going to be a huge upgrade to my extracting process. Looks like it's packed nice. They have these reinforcements in the corners so nothing gets caved in. You'll probably tell by that clunk that it's probably metal. It's probably stainless. I'm sure you can read it now. 40-inch stainless steel Pro Uncapping Tank. This is the longer of the two that they sell, if I remember right. And I don't remember how long the shorter one was, but I went with this one because it'll hold, I was thinking maybe 2 boxes worth of frames and still be able to do the uncapping on one end. So I really like this HillCo company. I haven't ordered anything from them until this year, and I got my bottling tank, which I'll show you here in a second. And I really like that. Big old piece of stainless steel here. Let's see, what do we got? That's probably the lid. Yeah, boy, it's shiny. Nothing like brand new stainless with no fingerprints on them or anything. I'll show you how it's packed in here. Okay, here's the inside. This is probably the bar that goes across the top here. This is probably legs, I'm guessing. And this looks like a big strainer. We'll have to figure out how to get this all set up here. Yeah, comes with its own, it's like a 3-inch scraper, or 4-inch. Couple handles, assuming that's for the outside. This leg's pretty heavy. Yeah, that's nice. Nice and clean. I guess you gotta lift this up on this end. So they had a piece of styrofoam sheet down there in the bottom. So those two, so it didn't have metal on metal. And looks like we got a bent leg right here. Those aren't very thick. I don't know if that's going to be a problem or not, but we'll get it out and get it set up and get it figured out. Okay, I've got it all unboxed now. So here's the tank, and everything looks like a mirror. It's hard to really see, but there's the tank, lid's right there, and here's the screen in the bottom. So here's really what I wanted to show you. So here's the legs. There's 4 of these legs, and here's the hardware. So what was weird, it came with flange nuts, the bolt, and lock washers and flat washers. So usually you don't use a lock washer with a flange head bolt. And I went and looked at, so there's no instructions, but he does have John Hill has a video on HillCo, so that shows you how to put it together. And he didn't have lock washers, so I guess I got 8 free lock washers. Anyway, there's all the hardware, handles, the hardware with that, those little knobs that come. This is what holds on your extractor bar that has the little sharp point sticking through it. There's a little sharp point right there in the nut, and the 2 bolts for the knobs right there. So let's get this thing put together real quick. So you use the flat washer on the head of the bolt. You use the flange nut on the back side with no lock washer. That's the way he did it in the video. It's close. So I'm planning on putting casters on this so I can roll it around in here and not scratch up this floor. So I waited until I got it to order those to be sure I got. So this is like a 1 3/8, just over a quarter. You probably want a 1 1/4 or a 1-inch plate on your caster. Still fighting this cough from that COVID. That's another reason I haven't got out to work on the hives a lot. I just don't have any endurance. It doesn't take any time at all, and I'm just tired out. But I'm not complaining. The holes in these legs are cut oblong a little bit. So if it's not quite square when it's sitting on the floor, you can adjust it up and down and get it so it's not wobbly or have one leg longer than the others. Like your favorite chair at every restaurant. Man, I love these little Milwaukee 12-volt tools. Man, they're tiny and handy. I've got DeWalt 20 volt, for heavy duty stuff, but for assembly, this little, this is a drill side here, and they have an impact. Actually, this is called a screwdriver because it's got the detents in it for torque, so you can set it however much you want. But man, these are nice. And I'm not trying to sell it either. I'm just saying these are cool. I like them because they're small and handy. I got the drill, I got the impact, 3/8 ratchet, and I just got the little handsaw thing that's a little saw blade about that big. They're nice. Okay. Yep, no wobble. Let's put in the honey gate. So here's our honey gate right here. Take it apart. So this top part goes on the top. I got it about right. There, so now it's set to where I just pull it towards me to open. How's that for a camera angle? Here's from the top. It's like the house of mirrors up here. All right, let's get this bottom part put in there. I'm gonna have to straighten that little leg out. That's no big deal. Use these needle nose because they meet flush together, unlike this, and maybe I can straighten this better. Yeah, it's not real strong. Vertical, pushing down, it's very strong, but once it's bent a little bit, it's easy for it to fold because that's not very heavy gauge metal there. There's one thing that I'm looking at about this. It's these little legs I find a little questionable, but we'll see how it performs. This one here's a little bent. There we go. They're all bent out just a skosh. That's a technical term, a skosh. Because I think you want that thing lined up straight with the side there. You don't want it to be bent out like that. That looks good there. Maybe just a tweak to the outside. And this one's leaning to the inside. There we go. Go in at an angle. Yeah, I'm leaning on this hard and I think deflect it is far enough to touch the bottom and the legs aren't bending. It's good. Okay, let's get the get this put together, but I'm not going to mount it. There's two slots right here you can put it. So one thing I noticed about this is your uncapping bar is here in the center. So my old man lake ones, they're about this big. I would have it about here, and I'd stand on the end, and the wax would fall forward, and I'd have to move it around. But this, you're probably going to want to work at it from the side, and just have them go both ways. But I think you would want this in the farthest position so you can get the most amount of frames laying in here. I don't know, just have to get used to it. I'm thinking actually I might want it down here and stack my frames up here and shove the cappings down to this end as it fills up. That's probably, I think, the way I would do it, which won't be hard. I'll just drill a new hole for to put it down here. We said this was a 7mm. Let's see if this one's right. Seems to be. All right. Handles on the lid. Okay, there it is. What do y'all think? I like it. I hope I still like it after I've used it a while, but I'm sure I will. That's going to be a game changer for me. So I will wipe this down with some soapy water and rinse it out before I use it. I want to make sure it's good and clean. There's no oil residue left in there, so any of that contaminant gets in the honey. But for now, yeah, that's good. I like it. It is very nice looking, clean, very similar to the bottling tank. Nice, clean, good looking piece of equipment. So yeah, it is a lot more rigid. It doesn't wiggle around now that the legs are on it. So yeah, that did stiffen it up a lot. So let me show you what I'd normally use. So here I had two of these from Man Lake, their cappings tank, and I still need to clean out my cappings. So there's probably some moths in there, a few webs, but this one here is not quite as full. But yeah, that's what we'll be doing here pretty soon. Yeah, you can see the web. I don't know if that's moths or spiders, but it's been out here a while. It needs to get processed. I was waiting for it to cool off out here. Okay, a little bit about the bottling I got going on. So I've got 1 pound glass, So these are glass jars, and I bought these last year, and I had them. I don't sell a lot of those. I had a lot of people asking for glass, so I got some, and now nobody asked for it. And then I sell these 1 pound bottles, and I bought these in bulk, like 100 each. And I got these from Better Bee down here, but I hear there's other places you can get them for cheaper. But it wasn't a bad deal. So they come like that. The only downfall of this is you don't get the nice little boxes in the case. So I use an Amazon box here. I've got some little 3/4 pound bears. A few people like those. And then I don't have any open, but I have 2 pound bottles as well. And so I sell them at $10 a pound. And I have this, something new I started this year, this 1/2 gallon, which is basically 6 pounds. So I'm selling these for $45, which that's a bargain. And the reason I'm doing that is because I have plenty of honey this year. 777 pounds is what we had. So with that said, I got a box here from a guy, and I got his name covered up there. But his handle on YouTube was Keep Faithful, and he guessed 778 pounds on the weight contest. So he was 2/10 away. It was 777.8 pounds is what we had. And yeah, so Keep Faithful sent me some of his honey. And he's in West Virginia. So I'm going to taste that. And I'm going to take out a little of the Jerome Bee Farm honey. And we're going to do a taste test. So I'm going to start out and get this valve primed. I'm going to fill one of these 6 pound bottles. And one thing on this HillCo, this valve here, it sticks pretty good when it's been sitting a while. And I finally figured out a good way to break that free, because I would spill honey and I'd have a hard time. So here's how I do it, and it works real good. You put some downward force here and keep your arm straight here so you can keep it from wiggling. Then grab it here and just give it some firm little wiggle in it, and it slowly gets loose, and then it moves real easy after that. So that O-ring on there that's pushing against that real smooth plastic, when it sits a while, it likes to grab. So let's get this thing here filled up. So you can time it. It's a 6 pound bottle, 1/2 gallon. And there's not a whole lot of honey in there. And it's about 80 degrees in this room. And I don't have it cranked all the way open. I could go a little farther. Yeah, see, I could even go farther. But you got to be careful. You don't want to fall asleep doing this. So that's a 1/2 gallon fast. So let me put a little bit in here for our taste test. All right, let's get this box open here. From Peck's Mill, West Virginia. Not sure where that's at in West Virginia. Okay. Here we go with the big reveal. Looks like he's got a label on there. West Virginia Mountain Honey. Oh, he's got some Bible verses on here. Ezekiel 16:19 and Proverbs 24:13 and 14. I'll look those up, and I'll scroll them by here in the video. But let's compare it like color. So here's one of my 1 pound bottles next to his. Mine's on the right, which for clarity, man, they're like identical. I can't see any difference. His may be a little bit lighter. It Maybe the thickness of the bottle, I can't tell. So let's do the taste test. Here we go. About a half a spoonful there. It's very good. Very strong, sweet flavored like mine. It had a little bit, at first, kind of a spearminty flavor. Very good. Let's see. I got mine in this cup. And the Jerome Bee Farm honey. You know what? They taste almost the same. His has a little bit more of that spearmint kicked in the beginning. Mine's not quite that much, but man, I think they're about the same. It's, you know, spring wildflowers, I'm assuming. So yeah. Well, thanks Keith Faithful for the West Virginia Mountain Honey. I'm going to save this and keep it. If anyone else wants to send me some honey, I'll test it on a video for you, compare it to mine. But yeah, these are very, very similar. So thanks again, Keith. Okay, now for the next taste test. So I acquired me a whole case of mead in these nice Grolsch bottles, which I will give them back, you know, after I consume it. But there's 4 different flavors. This one's called Medjool Date Mead. So it's made from dates. There's some blueberry, raspberry, and I think strawberry are the 4 flavors I have. So this was brewed in August of 21, bottled July of 22, and ABV, I'm assuming that's alcohol by volume, is 12.5%. And I just chilled this down in the fridge or in the freezer so it'd be good and cold for me. Let's see, how do you open these things? There. Smells like a wine or champagne. Now this isn't carbonated, I don't think. And I'm drinking it from a child's meal cup from Olive Garden. So it's about the same color as this honey. How about that? So mead, as you know, is fermented honey, and they've added color to it, or not color, but flavor to it. That's good. It's sweet, has a little bit of a dryness to it, you know, like wine. So I'd say it's not a sweet, like a sweet wine. It's not like a dry wine. It's somewhere in the middle. I'm not sure what you call that. I'm not a wine tasting expert by any means. But yeah, you can tell there's alcohol in it. It's got a kick to it. It's a little bit of burn. Not too bad. I imagine this is something as sweet as it is, you could drink it pretty fast, and it would surprise you about how much of a kick it actually has. It might sneak up on a person. So I won't drink all this right now in front of you, but I'll put the lid on, put this in the fridge, save it for later. But yeah, that's good stuff. Yeah, 2 thumbs up to the mead brewer. So how did I get this? I traded 2 gallons, so 4 of these, to 2 different guys, and they're in a brew club together. So I approached one guy that bought honey from me 2 years ago, and I said, hey, you want to make a trade? I'll just give you some honey and you give me some mead back. He's like, yeah, let me talk to one of my buddies. So yeah, I got 4 different flavors. So each one gave me 2 6-packs of these bottles. And yeah, that's pretty cool. All right. Let's see. One other thing I was going to show you while I was in here. It's kind of nerdy, but let me show you what it is. So over here in the corner, I got me a Vermi Hut composter. Well, what is a Vermi Hut composter? Well, it's a little tire and it has worms in it. And as their moisture builds up, it gathers in this bottom tray, and you can actually pour this out with this little spigot and collect that juice and make tea with that, not to drink, but for your garden or plants or whatever, and it's full of nutrients. So I've been doing this since this summer, and I've got 3 on there right now. So this one on the bottom is full of cardboard shredded, and it's just absorbing moisture and getting treated for when I want to move it up. This one here, this is the one I've been running all summer, and it's about ready to harvest the worm castings out of it, so it's pretty full. As you can see, that's why this one is sitting up higher. And this one I just started, and he started out with coconut core, but after that I've just been using shredded cardboard, and you put that in there, it absorbs the moisture, and the worms actually start consuming this, and you go from cardboard to worm castings. It's pretty neat. So underneath there, I've had a few cucumber sprouts sprouting in here. I don't think I have enough worms, so I have added, I ordered some more to put in here. There was a half pound of worms, which I think was like 300. But right now I'm feeding them apple peelings from where my wife peeled a bunch of apples, and they'll have that consumed in about 2 weeks. That'll all be gone, and at that time I just make another trough and put my next set of vegetables in there that I'm going to feed them, and they just keep eating and making worm castings, and I just keep adding food. So yeah, I'll be harvesting this one here. I'm not letting it finish off, and I'll harvest it in a month or 2 and get the castings out of that. You put the castings into another bin and let them sit for a while, because there'll be worm cocoons in that. So you let the baby worms hatch out, then you collect them, and then you can take it after that. So I've got some vegetables I froze. So there, I got some cucumbers in the freezer. Big old giant ones. I saved those to get me through winter. And then here's a whole bucket full of apple right there. Apple peels and pieces. And there's my Flexi Freeze vest, in case anybody was wanting to know where I kept it. There it is. And the neck piece. Yeah, so hopefully I'll get out to the hives and get some videos going out there. I need to bring you all some closure on As the Nuke terms and get that thing closed out, see what we're going to do there, and follow up on Hive 2. I need to do my mite washes and make sure I don't have any mite issues, and I'll do some spot checks there. Don't know if I'll video that or not. That's kind of I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, so tell me what you think of the HillCo Capping Tank and the worm farm, and y'all get you some hookup on some mead. That's some good stuff. So with that, I'm going to end it. Give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe on your way out of here, and we'll catch you on the next beekeeping video. Y'all take care.